Hi all. Today I have two items to show you, or probably better, two sets of items. First, it'll be the Greenlight Union 76 shop tool set, and the second will be the BMW M3 E30 from TSM GT. I'm gonna start with the tool shop because it's the shop tools, because I feel like it's just gonna be quicker. And if you're only interested in the Mini GT BMW, you can skip ahead to just look at the just skip ahead to see it. But it's, for me at least, it's very it embodies the Mini GT pretty well. It's the exact same positives and the exact same negatives you've seen. So it's a pretty normal experience, but the shop tools for me is very new, so that's what I'm mostly interested about. I got this from eBay for a pretty good price. I bought it was another whatchamacallit, tarmac work model. In total, it came out as a pretty good price. I feel like for the same price, I might have been able to get a tarmac work model shipped. So it's a very nice price, especially on eBay. But this one actually came with an original price sticker, which says $7.99, which just feels like it's a bit too expensive. I got it for around like $4 or $5. Definitely no more than five. I wouldn't have bought it otherwise. I like dioramas. I like these accessories. It's always interesting. I'm pretty sure Greenlight has put out like generic, non-branded stuff. Stuff from like home improvement and stuff feels generic enough to me, but I haven't been able to find them as cheap as this set. So I do have one pair of Union 76 models. I know Johnny Lightning does them, Hot Wheels does them, Greenlight does them, but I only have the Hot Wheels hauler set, the Team Transport with the Plymouth Superbird, and the non-branded, whatchamacallit, there's something about wide open car hauler, so I'm gonna use them. But this one, the Plymouth Superbird, is pretty much 164, at least pretty close, if not exactly 164. So I think they will look pretty nice next to each other. And I do have a couple of figures that I forgot to bring out earlier, so hopefully it can give you a pretty good look at how these tools hold up to your other model cars and your other diorama pieces. I'm gonna bring a couple out. All right, so I did not know what a lot of these things are called, or nor what they do before getting this set, so I did look up a little bit to see what it is. And I mean, this is obvious, right? This is a fuel pump with Union 76 on it. You can see, because these pieces are so tiny, the paint is not always going to be perfect, which is a shame, but you can see the printed Union 76 TM down here is really good. The big blob of blue right here is not perfect, which is a bit unfortunate. Rest of it's pretty good, I'd say, and the side is really nicely detailed. This one unfortunately has a bit of a lean. If I can find a way to show you, probably right here would be a good place. You can see it's leaning forward a little bit, or backward, depending on which way you're facing it. So that's a bit unfortunate. But if you have something to for it to lean against, it's going to be fine. And if you want to glue it down to a diorama, you can easily fix that, or just use sandpaper or something else to grind it down. It's going to look fine. Yeah, so it's a fuel pump. We all know what that is. This is a tool rack. You can see again the orange and blue 76 logo on here. Pretty sweet, 3-tiered. Cool. These are really small, by the way. It's really cool that they were able to do such tiny details, but it's really small. It gets annoying sometimes. It's a car jack, and this is the first one I'm going to actually show you alongside the car. The Plymouth Superbird from Hot Wheels actually is pretty high already, so you're not able to actually jack up this car specifically. We can get kind of an idea of what it does. It looks pretty nice. And this one, again, another really tiny piece. It's the air compressor, if you can kindly focus on me. Sweet. This one is repainted really well. You can just look at it, it's really nice. There's a bit of the crossover right here. The transitional bit on here and here are not great, but from most angles it looks pretty good. And there's also an oil drum, which is pretty cool. And you can see the registered mark. It's really nice. This one is pretty sweet. And last but not least, this is called a creeper. I had no idea what these things are called before I got this set. I had to look it up. It's basically what you use to get under a vehicle. You can lie down on it and look at the underside of your car. You see that a lot in movies. I've seen a lot of it in movies, but I've never had an idea what it's called. And just having all of these diorama pieces. Actually, why am I even doing this? Probably having them on the desk will make much more sense, but never claimed I was smart. Alright, and I don't have like any figure in Union 76 deco, but I'm gonna try to make do with some of the other figures I already have. This is another Greenlight figure, so you can see her size in contrast to the other stuff. This is a Johnny Lightning figure, Austin Powers, and another Greenlight figure, Driver. So yeah, I think scale-wise they look pretty nice. But the thing is, with the creeper, you can see just how small it is or how big the figure is. So I don't know which one will be more realistic. The woman with dress and purse probably fits a bit better, but I'm not really sure how big or small these things are supposed to be. But for the most part, I think they look good. And even I think these will be very great if you're making a diorama and you want a Union 76 fuel station or mechanic station or just like a race team. But I mean, if you display your stuff more on these kind of clear acrylic blocks, I mean, like I said, it's difficult. I think they can still look pretty good if you put like your car next to it and having it as a bit of a background, right? I think it can still look pretty good. So yeah, I'm not in love with these things, but they are pretty high quality, I must say. But I don't know how much use I'm gonna end up getting out of them. But they're cool, and again, much more useful for diorama makers than displayers. And the next thing I'm gonna talk about is this BMW M3 E30 in Alpine White. TN's model Mini GT. You all know what they are. I'm just gonna move the Greenlight stuff out of the way. All right, and here it is. BMW E3, which is pretty cool, and nice Alpine White, as you would expect, or as I would expect from Mini GT. It's not perfect, but this is fine. So got a bit of a white paint splash on the front, which is again annoying for the price, but come too used to it. And the headlights are lensed plastic pieces, so I think they're probably an extension of the windshield and the glass pieces, but I'm not 100% sure. Rubber side mirrors, as you would expect. Overall, Mini GT definitely feels really nice in the hand. It feels heavy, chunky. The wheels are really nice. Look at those rims. And the back details are also lensed, separate pieces, and says BMW M3 at the back. Pretty sweet underside details. It was, again, as you would expect from Mini GT, made in China. And yeah, overall, it's a great model. Bit of a shame that the front is paint is not perfect, but again, I'm used to it from Mini GT. Honestly, if this thing, I think its price has a lot to do with it. If this is a Auto World or a Greenlight, I would just shrug and say, oh well, that's unfortunate. But for something that's like twice as much as Auto World and Johnny Lightnings and Greenlight or premium Hot Wheels, for the most part, this definitely feels a lot more annoying when it's coming from like a $15 model. And but still, I mean, for most angles, you're not going to be able to notice. Well, you can notice this is an angle, but it's you're not going to notice it unless you're specifically looking for it. And as far as Mini GT quality controls goes, this is definitely on the better side of the scale. And I think as long as there's nothing wrong with the physical, like metal pieces itself, it's going to be really easy to fix if you care enough about it. So overall, I like it. And just as a size comparison, this classic BMW E3 was a much more contemporary M6 GT3. Yeah, you can just see how much larger these new sports cars are being. Yeah. But they look really nice side by side as well, even though they're made by different companies. And this one, obviously, I've showcased this before. It's specific BMW dealership model. And yeah, they look really nice together. I think for the most part, I might like this one better. The only problem is, well, not really a problem. The only difference being it has a plastic base for, I know some people care. I don't really. The wheels on the Mini GT one, as you can see, is obviously a lot more detail. The one here is really good as well. I mean, honestly, if you look at an actual M6 GT3, it pretty much has the exact same rims. Can be a bit more hollowed out. Rubber tires might, I don't know, like feel higher quality, but as far as plastic wheels goes, this is definitely one of the best I've seen. And price-wise, this is half of the price of a well, it's half the price if you live next to a BMW dealership, if you can actually afford to get it there instead of getting it shipped. Getting it shipped, it's still quite a bit cheaper than the Mini GT. But as far as detail and quality control goes, actually, these ones are a bit better than Mini GT, which is really high quality still. And one more thing I want to notice is that I want to point out is that recently just found out like Mini GT has really good rubber tires. Hopefully this can get picked up on the microphone. Like this sounds really good. Like let's see, is there a Greenlight available nearby? Sure there is, of course. This is what Greenlight sounds like. It just sounds a lot harsher, a lot. It sounds like the tires are a lot stiffer. I mean, which is not really like knock on Greenlight. And honestly, like who's gonna give a shit like what it sounds like? But the Atomic Limited Vintage obviously sounds the best. You can just hear the suspension there. But Mini GT, you can definitely feel like it's got pretty high quality tires, so that's pretty nice. So this is it for today. Pretty short videos compared to most of the stuff I do. Hope you enjoyed it or found it interesting. It's a good model, and yeah, and the tool set from Greenlight is very nice. If you're building a diorama, it's probably going to be very useful for you. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and talk to you again soon. Bye bye.